Hey there, my name is Przemek and this is Zoharum Records double feature. Initially I planned to make for a review video like I did in case of Winterlight, but in the end I decided to split it into two videos, first Zoharum double feature now and second a little bit later. Today we'll discuss two fresh releases from Zoharum Records, a very prolific Polish label which focuses on various forms of underground music. And if you think of any post-industrial genre, you can be almost sure that you'll find an artist or an album with that kind of music in Zoharum catalog. Dark ambient, sure. Noise or power electronics, why not? EBM, industrial, absolutely. Ritual incantations, academic experiments, something to dance or to contemplate, even krautrock or psychedelic rock. Now when I think of it, I don't recall any martial or neo-folk, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to analyze the Discogs. Anyway, the first one I'd like to talk about today is Indalaska Musique de Sables, which means music of the sands. Indalaska is a French duo by two brothers, Frédéric and Olivier Chariot. Some time ago they have released a collaboration album with Aliodie, which is always kind of nobility. Their relationship with Zoharum is pretty tight as it's their third project, interesting enough for label's bosses to offer them the album's release. These two others are Maninkari and Sphyxion. And the albums of both have the written reviews by me on the blog. I'll post the links, down there if I won't forget. And of all three projects by the brothers, Indalaska is probably the most austere or aesthetic. I'm not entirely sure, but I think the music is based on processed live instruments, string instruments to be more specific, maybe accordion too, or at least these are synthesizers, but they sound like that. In the end, we get four compositions lasting a bit more than half an hour. The first track is the longest. It's called L'éveil des eaux dormantes. And to be honest, I like it the least. It's quite static, which wouldn't be a problem, but I feel it's like one ingredient extracted of a greater ambient dish. No beginning, no end, just an excerpt of something bigger. But the following three pieces are much better, I think. The second one, Transfixion, so sorry, it's like a musical illustration of a desert at night, literally. Just listen to it. These growing drones and orient melodies make me think of 1001 Nights folk tale turning into horror. And the third one, which is Le Bleu Superstition. For quite a while I couldn't recall what it reminds me of, and suddenly, Eureka! It has the mid-90s neoclassical dark ambient vibe, maybe even with a slight touch of dungeon synth, and I felt like I listened to some lost song from Iltfrost Nathaniel album. I was just waiting this sepulchral voice will pop up and start to recitate some Byron poem or something. And the fourth track, Le premier jour de sable dans la terre. This fourth one again have this Middle East atmosphere, and and it has a nice flow. I also like quite much this last sorry composition. So in short, the first track is so-so, but the compositions 2, 3 and 4 very good and are a good appetizer for something new in the future. Okay, the second one is a legendary. No, maybe this word is too big, but a cult, yes. A cult Polish power electronics project called Brandkommando. It has released quite a lot of materials on CDs and cassettes for such labels as like Beast of Prey, Mask of the Slave, Nearby Mouth, and many others. This one, 1989, also has a cassette edition, if you like this format. I was expecting a noisy blast, so as a precaution before playing it for the first time, I turned the volume knob down, and surprise! The album begins with industrial rhythms, but they are rather quiet. I hear radio feedbacks, bizarre incantations, and samples of some speech by Nicolae Ceausescu, I suppose. Because the album's concept is based on 1989 events in Romania, when the people has brought down the communist dictatorship led by Ceausescu. Here on the cover, you can see the Romanian flag with the emblem cut out as a sign of the protest. The same thing people did in DDR in 1989, but in the end it was Romania when where this anti-communist revolt took the bloodiest and most violent turn of events. Eventually, Ceausescu and his wife were captured. Why this image is so dark right now? Anyway, they were captured and sentenced to death. I still remember those events, the protests and riots I've seen on TV when I was a kid. It was pretty intense, and this music quite efficiently reflects the turmoil and the tension, the anger of the nation. But also the apparatus of terror of the regime, even if it's not extremely noisy. I would say it's closer to Death Industrial style. It needs to be said that apart from all these noises, feedbacks, and analog glitches, very important role plays the musician's voice. He's screaming, wheezing, rattling, sounding like sinister yet grotesque parody of the dictator's speeches. And it makes the album even more creepy. A little bit than 30 minutes, 4 tracks, 1999. Soarele Carpatilor, which in Romanian means the son of Carpathians, which was Ceausescu's nickname in the time of his so-called greatness. The third title is Terroare, which means terror, and the last one is Securitate, which is the name of secret police in communist Romania, like Stasi or KGB. So in the end, it's a solid piece of power electronics / death industrial with a suggestive historical background. Okay, this is the first Zoharum double feature. As I said, the second one I will record and post maybe in a week or two. For now, thanks for watching and see you soon.